Welcome to the Learning for Legacy show with me, your host, Afam Onyenakala. This is all about the concept of making generational wealth understandable, practical, and accessible. I'll be exploring a range of topics and sharing conversations, interviews, and more. Because what good is building wealth if we don't build the people? Welcome everybody to another edition of the show. Last week, I talked about why everyone should have 4 income streams. And just to recap, the reason I touched on that is to do with one of the examples I used. I used the fact of how the credit crunch crisis of 2008 affected the financial sector in a very unique way. And what we have found is that from 2020 all the way into 2022, the coronavirus situation of the global pandemic has also affected the world in a similar sense. And I'll touch on what I meant by that. So what we found in both scenarios is that when we look at the economic hierarchy, for want of a word, of where people exist financially, you have the rich, the middle class, the poor, and then those who are aid dependent effectively. So what we found is that when the credit crunch hit in 2008, and also in many respects when the coronavirus pandemic hit more recently, the people that were impacted obviously was everyone, but very uniquely, the people that took a very particular hit wasn't necessarily the rich, wasn't necessarily the poor, even though all were affected. It was the job-dependent middle class, because those who were elite or rich already have had financial structures in place to weather the economic storm. Those that were effectively the poor or state dependent were affected, but the state had already stepped in during that period to assist. Those that took a very significant hit were the middle class, because of the fact that the middle class are effectively job dependent. So when crises of the like hit, the first things that will hit are the jobs. We saw it in the 2008 financial crash. We saw it again during the, in particular, the early stage of the coronavirus pandemic. Jobs were hit and lost across the board, which meant that those within the traditional middle class sector, where so many things were connected and linked to credit, you found that when jobs were lost, it affected the ability for people to keep roofs over their head in terms of paying mortgages, in paying for cars, paying for other liabilities that are connected to a lifestyle of credit, as it were. So looking at that, the reason why I touched on why everyone should have 4 income streams is that the new way of doing things that enables us to live lives where we're not solely dependent on one source of income is a form of entrepreneurship, whereby the old way of doing things is where your lifestyle and your options are uniquely tied to just having a single job or a single income. So going forward, for all of us, as I mentioned in the previous episode, it's essential to have 4 income streams. What we're going to talk about today are what these opportunities for us can be, or essentially what is your money-making opportunity. So we're going to look at 4 opportunities for 4 income streams. there are multiple opportunities out there, but I'm just going to focus on 4 particular opportunities because there are many derivatives from each of the 4 that I'm going to go through today. But it's essential that we just touch on 4 of these. Now, the first opportunity for an additional income stream is the area termed affiliate marketing. Now, this is essentially a model where you can become an agent or an associate of an existing company where you can provide their products and services that are of interest to people that you know. So effectively, through affiliate marketing, what you're doing is you are positioning these products to a hungry crowd of people within your network. And by doing that, you are sourcing a solution. And this essentially can be done through a number of ways, through various forums, social networks where you're giving talks. You're effectively becoming an ally or a friend to your network on behalf of the company that you represent. And the beautiful thing about that is that you don't need to necessarily carry any stock. You don't need to even fulfill the stock. Essentially, where most of the affiliate marketing is done in the digital space. So effectively, once you sell that product or service to a person within your network, the company obviously take a portion of the profits and you get a section of that profit as your commission. The second opportunity for making money that I'm going to touch on is that of network marketing. Now, this ultimately is effectively where you are using word of mouth to promote a product or service, and you can, in the process, build a sales force through recruiting and training people as well. And by using this model, these people that you bring on board as part of your sales force effectively can sell products for you and become part of your team in this model, as it were. So by doing this, by adopting this model, you effectively are signing up with an established company. You're effectively setting a monthly cash goal. And then also you're building a team, a recruitment team as well, through your spare time. And the beautiful thing about adopting the network marketing model is that many of the companies have great training programs as well. They focus very heavily on personal development and sales. So it's an opportunity not only to generate an income, but to develop relevant marketing and sales skills along the way. The third opportunity for making money as an income stream is the information model. And this is where you are effectively selling information as part of an information empire. So what you're doing is you're selling need-to-know information to very hungry markets. And you can consider this to be, in a sense, coaching or offering advice or training to your marketplace, as it were. So within this model, you have a form of intellectual property that you're presenting to the masses. And that can be done in a number of ways, through mentoring, through a form of coaching, or through a form of consultancy. And the fourth opportunity that I'm going to touch on as a income stream option is that of the membership model. So this is where you can effectively start a club or an association either online or elsewhere for people to take part in and join. And so we're living in this age of various associations and communities. And what we find is that there are people all over the world who are trying to collaborate and make connections with people, all based around their special interests. And if you can tap into that, what this membership model enables you to do is set up structures such as annual subscriptions and the like based on real benefits for your network. So, for example, if you had an interest in golf or gardening or something specific for mums, there are multiple networks out there that really require and are looking for expert information. They're looking for the ability to connect and collaborate with people within these special interest group areas and either grow in terms of their own personal development, get access to niche products and information for themselves. And it's an area whereby by starting such a membership or network, you can effectively charge a monthly subscription fee that people will join, and you're providing more value to this community than what they are gaining. So let's look at it one way. Netflix is a particular example. This particular membership model is effectively, they charge a monthly subscription and you're getting access to a plethora of digital content. But specifically in the context of what we're talking today, with this particular model of membership, what you're doing is you're trying to connect people around their unique special interests. And that can take place and extend to forums and chat rooms and the like through exclusive membership sites. So to recap, when we look at the importance of why everyone should have 4 income streams that we touched on in the previous episode, we've now looked today at what are 4 unique opportunities for generating 4 income streams that we can look at. And again, we touched on the affiliate marketing model, the network marketing model, the information model, and finally, the membership model. Thanks for listening to Learning for Legacy. To join our community or find out about what else we get up to, you can follow us on Twitter at Legacy Learning or on our website at www.legacylearning.co.uk. To access additional content or exclusives from this particular episode, please find the information within the show notes.